Oh my gosh, everyone is returning to their seats. Intermission is about over. I see the principal standing in the wings getting ready to walk back onto the school stage. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have spent the last 8 minutes texting on social media about today's student competition. I don't even remember what I wrote. I'm too nervous. I was typing so fast and it was the first time I ever tried social media posting. I need to check what I wrote. Thankfully, I did not push the send button. Wait, did I? Oh, please. I need my brain to tell my heart that I didn't push the send button. How can I check? I don't want the other two judges or the principal to see me looking at my phone. Oh, I'm too nervous to be a judge. I don't know who to vote for as the 4th, 5th, 6th grade champions. The principal told us judges not to text anything on social media until the competition is over. Oh, why didn't I just listen to her? Oh, what if she finds out when she goes home and sits down to relax and she opens up her phone and checks her social media and... Oh, okay, I need to calm down. Oh my gosh, I need to check and I can't pick up my cell phone because the principal is now on stage. Yikes!
Thank you, students, teachers, parents, grandparents, and absolutely everyone in our school's auditorium. I am sure each of you will agree with me that the 10 students who performed their original theatrical monologues during the first half of today's exciting Yesterday and Today school competition were excellent. As the school's principal, I am so very proud of those 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. Now, in a few minutes, the last of the competitors will perform their stories they researched, wrote, and have been rehearsing for the past month. As I said to all of you at the beginning of today's assembly, when the history and literature teachers in our school informed me that this year's Yesterday and Today school competition project would be the students combining Nevada's historical facts with holiday folktales based on our state's diverse ethnic and racial populations, I had my concerns. But after seeing what the first group of 10 students has presented to us before intermission, it's worth saying once again, I am so proud of our teachers and children. Allow me to remind you, though every student is a champion for participating, the rules of the competition force us to select only 3 students who will receive a championship trophy. One for the 4th grader with the most outstanding presentation, one for the 5th grader, and one for the 6th grader. I can't even imagine what the judges must be experiencing. I can only imagine what butterflies are flapping around in their stomachs and what thoughts like piercing needles are penetrating the judges' minds. Of course, I did suggest to the judges that I hope each of them will be careful about what they might text and post in their excitement and nervousness on their social media accounts. I know from past experiences when I was a judge at school competitions that the judges are far more nervous than the competing students.
Oh dear. I hope the principal wasn't looking at me while I was texting. I just started doing social media last night when I couldn't sleep. What was I thinking? 2:30 in the morning, sitting at my kitchen table, eating 3 bowls of ice cream and trying to figure out how to post messages on social media while having a brain freeze. I was so nervous about being a judge at today's competition. I need to really force myself to keep my thoughts under control. I don't want the principal to think she made a mistake asking me to be a judge. Oh, I'm so nervous. My fingers are shaking so badly. Okay, I really need to check what I wrote if I had pushed the send button. What if I wrote something inappropriate? How do I delete my post? Okay, hopefully the principal on stage and the judge sitting on the left and the judge sitting on my right won't notice as I'm looking down at my cell phone. I know. I'll bend over and pretend I'm tying my shoelaces, and I'll put the phone on the floor underneath the table and... Oh my gosh. No. I must accidentally push the send button. People are replying. Oh my gosh, everyone is already reading my post. I don't know how to delete. Oh my gosh, what did I write? Dear friends, yep, I'm here at the competition. I am one of 3 judges. The students have worked really hard in researching, writing, and rehearsing their performances. Ouch! I did it again! I just bit my tongue because I'm trying not to burp from my upset stomach. Is writing about burping on social media improper? I don't want to be the one person in the world who posts tasteless messages. After watching the first 10 students perform, I'm not sure who I should vote for to win. Those kids were dynamic. Oh, except for one, who will remain nameless because I don't ever want to post anything that might be interpreted as an insult. I want to be like everyone else who uses social media and only posts positive messages. Yikes, my kidneys are about to explode. I really need to visit the ladies' room before the next group of kids takes the stage. Maybe if I finally go to the bathroom, I won't need to burp anymore. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. My stomach just let out a loud growl, and the judge sitting on my left and the judge sitting on my right are looking at me out of the corner of their eyes. But truthfully, I wasted my time watching that one kid who was so terrible. But I won't mention his name because I've been told it is really wrong to post anything negative on social media. But I do feel sorry for his mother Hazel and his father John and his grandmother Mary Lou. They live 3 houses down from my house on Olive Street, so I better not say the name of their kid. I don't want anyone to accuse me of being inappropriate on social media. Okay, maybe I should vote for him to win the 5th grade trophy. If he doesn't win because of me, he may feel like a big loser, quit school, become a criminal, and spend the rest of his life in prison. Oh, being an elementary school competition judge has too much power. I shouldn't have said yes when the principal asked me to be a judge, but then again, she's my cousin, so if I said no, then maybe she wouldn't invite me to her house for Thanksgiving, which in reality wouldn't be that great of a loss. She's an excellent principal, but her turkeys always taste like a rubber tire on a dump truck.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen and students, I'm going to ask, now that the intermission is over, for everyone to turn off their cell phones and no more texting.
How do I delete my social media post? Fast. I gotta find it. Where's the delete button on my cell phone? Oh my gosh.
Well, let's get the second half of this wonderful event going. May I remind everyone in the audience to please put away their cell phones. No photos and no texting, please, especially the judges. First up is another student competing in the 4th grade category of the Yesterday and Today School competition. His name is Martin.
Thank you, Principal Dillon. The story I have researched, wrote, and am about to perform is based on one of Nevada's most colorful, instrumental, and important historical ethnic groups, the Basques. I will be portraying a freezing cold 9-year-old Basque boy in Elko, Nevada on Christmas Eve, who's in the snow-covered fields with his father, a Basque sheep herder, and 121 sheep. The title of my presentation is The Christmas Legend of the Snow-Covered Sheep and the Mysterious Tree Carvings of the Nevada Basques. I wish I were back home in my Logela bedroom, lying in my awea, my bed, waiting for Santa Claus. If I were lying in bed instead of sitting underneath this zwaita, a tree, in freezing otza, cold, aisea, wind, and covered with snow, looking at 121 sheep who are all nice and warm and protected from the wind and snow with all their fluffy wool, and listening to my father, who's sitting underneath another tree, singing his favorite bass song he always sings on Christmas Eve. Then I would be sitting in front of the Christmas tree in a nice warm house smelling my mother's nice delicious hot food. Then I would really feel it's Christmas Eve. My father wants me to be a sheep herder like he is here in Elko, Nevada. He never stops telling me about how his father, his grandfather, his great-grandfather were Basque sheep herders back in Europe, in the Pyrenees Mountains, and fields between France and Spain. I've heard his stories hundreds of times, and I'm only 9 years old. By the time I'm an adult, I'll know his ancestor stories word by word, by word, by word, by word, by word. It wasn't my idea to come sit here in the fields tonight. Every Christmas Eve, my mom tells me and my little sis a Basque sheep Christmas folktale. We sit around the table in the sucaldia, the kitchen, and nibble on her freshly baked, right out of the oven, hot ogia, bread, and silky smooth gasta, cheese. I used to believe it was a true story. But when I discovered the words folktale and legend, then I knew it was a make-believe story. When I told my little sister that the story wasn't true, she started to cry, and she squealed on me. So my mom said that on Christmas Eve I should go with my dad to the fields. She said that maybe the folktale would come true. My mom says that legends and folktales are important to keep. Basque traditions and celebrations should be appreciated by families. Children hear them from parents and grandparents. Then the kids grow up, get married, have their own children, become grandmas and grandpas, and then those kids do the same. And their kids do the same. That way, the Basque traditions of our ancestors are never forgotten. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why is that sheep coming towards me? It looks angry. It's coming straight towards me. I see puffs of smoke slipping out of its nose. Yikes! Dad? Dad? Ida? Ida? Dad? Oh my gosh, my Ida is sleeping. Dad, there's a sheep coming towards me, and he looks angry. Ida! Dad! Oh my gosh, my Ida has the blankets over his head. He can't hear me. Go away! Go back to the other sheep. I think he's the leader of the sheep. Do sheep have leaders? Dad! Dad! Oh my gosh. This sheep is standing next to me. He's flicking his tongue. Oh my gosh! Please don't bite me! What is he doing? He's licking the snow off the tree? Oh my gosh. Why is he doing this? Now he's pounding one of his hoofs against the tree. I'm afraid to move. He's looking at me strangely. Why is he pounding his hoof against the spot on the tree? He wants me to turn my head and look at him. Look at the tree. Why? What's wrong with me? Why am I afraid? He's only a sheep. He can't hurt me. I can't move my ancock. My legs. Oh my gosh. What is that on the tree? It's oh my gosh. Is that really what I think it is? Is it really what my mom, when she's talking about Basque folktales and legends, says is true? I know the story. I know it. Word for word, both in English and in the Basque language. A long time ago, so long ago, nobody can remember how long ago. On Christmas Eve, sheep herders were tending to their sheep. Each sheep herder was sitting beneath a tree to protect themselves from the whipping wind and twirling snow. Each had a knife. Couldn't write on paper during a winter storm. With their knives, each sheep herder carved a drawing on a tree of someone they loved. A wife, a son, a daughter, a mother, a father, a grandmother, a grandfather, and each sheep herder wrote a message. This one looks like a piece, and the word is goshokia, candy. Oh my gosh! There are numbers here. 1, 8, 3, 7. Does it mean that a long time ago in 1837, on Christmas Eve, a Basque sheep herder sat beneath the tree I'm under and carved a drawing of a piece of candy? Is the next part of the Basque folklore true? 1 minute before midnight, each sheep herder lays down in the snow, pulling the blankets over their heads. They want the sheep to think the men are asleep, because on Christmas Eve, the sheep talk to the sheep herders, but only if the men are asleep and can't see or hear the sheep. One sheep tells one man, another sheep tells another man, another sheep tells another man what good things will happen to him during the 365 days between one Christmas and the next Christmas. They only tell the men the good things that will happen to give them hope and joy for the next 365 days. Then, when the sheep finish talking to the sheep herders, they walk away. The men take the blankets off their heads, pull out their knives, and carve another word into the tree. That word symbolizes something the sheep told him. Maybe the word is laranja, an orange. It might mean he will have many oranges to eat for himself and his family. Then, on Christmas morning, the men go home to celebrate Christmas with their families. Wait, the sheep is looking at me strangely. Oh my gosh, I think it's telling me to lie down and pull the blankets over my head. It wants to tell me what good things will happen to me between tonight and next year's Christmas Eve. Then, I'll have to carve a drawing and word into this tree. Okay, I'm ready. Oh, I hear the sheep walking away. I am so happy. Now, I'll carve a drawing and word on the tree. Then, wait, look at all the stars in the sky. Oh, Dad! Oh my gosh! A sheep is walking away from my dad, and my dad is carving something on his tree. Oh my gosh, I really am a Basque boy. That means when we go home in the morning, on the table, there will be all the Basque food my mom cooked for Christmas. Nice, hot, and sweet, and delicious ogia and gasta, bread and cheese, and chicken and arena, fish smothered in hot tipulak, onions, and goshokia, candy, and laranja, oranges. Yes, this is how Nevada Basque celebrates the Christmas traditions of our ancestors. Thank you for listening to my story.
Well, he certainly was terrific. He just made my work as a judge so much easier. Whew! I'm voting for him. Wait, what if the other judges want to vote for another fourth grader to win? Then they will get mad at me. I can't handle people being mad at me. I want everyone to like me. Oh, but he really was great. Okay, I'm sticking to my opinion. I'm voting for him. Oh, dear. What a mistake I made during intermission. People are responding to my social media posting. Nobody has anything nice to say about what I posted. Oh my gosh, how can people write such nasty things? Okay, there's a few seconds before the principal introduces the next student contestant. I'm going to write something positive and I'll post it. I'll make it short and I'll write it very carefully and people can reply by saying something nice about me. Dear friends, I am still at the competition. I'm sorry I upset so many people with my last post. As I said, I am new to social media and I'm new to judging a school competition and I'm a nervous wreck. And my feet hurt so bad from these new high heels I bought at the JG's shoe store on Longston Avenue, which is really the worst shoe store to buy from because the bossy sales clerk is so rude and another sales clerk told me that her boss steals shoes and takes them home for her teenage son to sell at school. Anyway, I think with this post, I'm being more appropriate. Okay, the competition is beginning. I just want to say something positive. The last boy named Martin was so good. I'm voting for him to win the 4th grade trophy. Bye for now. I hope everyone who reads my post will reply by writing something nice about me. Oh, as soon as the competition is over, I'm going to the store and buy myself a bunch of bananas and a carton of vanilla ice cream. Ooh, maybe I should get strawberries. What do you think? I hear posting about what people eat is really popular on social media. Oh, the next contestant is walking onto the stage. Oh, she looks so pretty. Wait, she's carrying a broom and a rake. And dressed as an old woman. She's a 6th grader dressed as an old woman who looks like a Halloween witch.
Our next student competitor is Priscilla, a 6th grader. Her presentation is about the Danish people in Gardnerville, Nevada. I don't mean to influence the judges, but to be truthful, I am a little biased because I've been a tourist to Denmark many times. And as many of you know, it's the country of one of the world's greatest writers, Mr. Hans Christian Andersen. He wrote such classics as The Little Mermaid. So, without further ado, let's welcome to the stage 6th grader Priscilla, whose presentation is titled Pesta, the Frightening Old Ghost.
Thank you, Principal Dylan. The story I have written and rehearsed today is actually 4 types of Danish stories rolled into one. Number 1, Spøgelseshistorie, a ghost story. Number 2, Creamy, a detective story. Number 3, Kærlighedshistorie, a love story. Number 4, Prologen Tegn Seirig, an origin or otherwise known as a legendary story. It begins in 1879 when a man named Lawrence Gilman in Gardnerville purchased a building he named the Kent House, which later became a Gardnerville Hotel. Gardnerville, Nevada was populated by people from Denmark. It truly was the center for Danish immigrants beginning in 1870. Down the road in the little town of Minden were many Germans, and further down the road in Genoa were many people from Britain. But in Gardnerville, the 2 most common languages spoken in homes and churches and stores was English and Danish. Well, one day there was a stagecoach robbery outside the Kent House. Sadly, a man and a woman who were engaged to be married because they loved one another so deeply, I hate to say the word, but the woman was shot. And since there are children in the audience, I won't say the word to describe what happened to her. But one doesn't become a ghost while being an alive human, that's for sure. The Danish people in Gardnerville don't talk about this legend because they don't want the female ghost to visit their house on Halloween. You see, legend has it that a female ghost roams Gardnerville searching for the man she once loved. Or there are those who believe that the female ghost is searching for the stagecoach criminal who ruined her life. Well, legend has it that every Halloween night, the female ghost appears as an old Danish woman dressed in black rags and carries a large broom and a large rake. Her name is Pesta, a once-upon-a-time real person who roams Denmark going from house to house. How did she find her way from Denmark to Gardnerville, Nevada? Nobody knows. What she does in Gardnerville is to go from house to house that is filled with descendants of Danish ancestors. When she finds a house where she is convinced that the ghost of the man she once loved isn't there, she uses her broom to sweep away any bad luck that is destined to happen to anyone living in the house. But when she finds a house which might possibly be filled with the energy of a stagecoach criminal's ghost, she uses her rake and pulls negative energy from the air and fills the house with it. Well, one Halloween night 100 years ago, 3 sisters living in Gardnerville, Nevada, were walking past the site of the stagecoach catastrophe. For fun, they were dressed in old Danish costumes their grandma had made for them from the stories of Hans Christian Andersen. Oza, the oldest sister, whose name means a tree-covered mountain, was wearing the costume of the Danish girl in the story The Red Shoes. Suddenly, she froze in her steps. Bodil, the middle sister, whose name means Battle Maiden, and was wearing the costume of the little Danish character in the story The Ugly Duckling, was so scared she couldn't catch her breath. Emula, the youngest sister, whose name means the beauty of nature, and was wearing the costume of the central figure in the story The Snow Queen, screamed, "There is Pesta! Pesta is here! Run!" But none of them could run. They were paralyzed with fear. All 3 knew that who they saw wasn't a trick-or-treater dressed as an old Danish woman. They knew that what or who they were seeing was Pesta, the old Danish ghost. All three sisters, at the same time, screamed as loud as they could. Pesta's old squeaky voice whispered,
Julian here. Ved du hvor jeg kan finde ham?
The girls knew what she was asking. Excuse me, is Julian here? Do you know where I can find him? The girls also knew what their grandma had told them many times. Det ikke en god idé. It's not a good idea to run when you see a ghost. Then suddenly, there appeared another ghostly figure, only this one was a beautiful woman. Osa was the first to recognize her. Bodil was the second. Emula was the third. The beautiful ghostly woman was the Danish ghost known as Tanya, the fairy queen. And suddenly, appearing with her was Girta, known as the protector, the ghost of safety. Then, and only then, were the sisters able to turn around and slowly walk home. Well, today, there are a little over 5,600 people living in the town named after a cattle rancher whose name was John Gardner. Today, there are more Native Americans and Hispanics living in Gardnerville than there are descendants of the original Danish immigrants. But there remain a few people who on Halloween believe they can hear an old woman's squeaky voice asking,
Julian here. Ved du hvor jeg kan finde ham?
Excuse me? Is Julian here? Do you know where I can find him? Tack. Thank you for listening to my story. Tack, tack. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I can't breathe. Oh my gosh, she was terrifying and terrific. I'm voting for her to be the winner of the 6th grade category. Oh my gosh, people are replying to my first and second posts on social media. Oh my gosh, I need to run up the aisle and out of the auditorium before the lights go up. Maybe I should buy an airplane ticket and leave town for a month. I wasn't cut out to be a competition judge. I'm not cut out to post messages on social media. I must be the only person in the world who has ever posted something totally inappropriate on social media.
Aren't we all so proud of our students? What a fantastic yesterday and today's school competition we just witnessed. As soon as the 3 judges make their decision as to the winners and hand me the results, my assistant vice principal and our 3 judges would join me on the stage to present the trophies. May I ask the judges why are only 2 of you sitting there?